You're listening to Inclusive AF with Jackye Clayton and Katee Van Horn.
Hello, Jacqueline.
Oh, hello. How are you, Kathleen? Katie
I'm
Jean.
I'm fantastic. Happy Sunday. We're recording on a Sunday, so happy Sunday to you.
Just glad you're home. Katie has been traveling. Tell everybody where you've been.
I was in Barcelona this past week with my Barcelona team, which was fun. But happy to be home, although it was very humid in Barcelona.
Really?
And then I got home and it's like overcast and humid in Phoenix. So we're definitely in monsoon season here in Arizona. Which isn't my favorite time of year because it's a little bit gross, but that's okay. We're gonna get through it. But I am a little tired, Jack. Not gonna lie to you. A little tired.
Proud of you for being here. Thank you for
And I
being
feel very poofy because you know when you're on a plane and you're like just dry, and so I feel like I've had 80 gallons of water this morning. So now I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
You're
Um,
retained. You're
I'm
retained.
broken. I'm just broken. Okay, so this is the Inclusive AF podcast, Jackie.
Yes, thank you for the reminder. This is
Okay.
the
I
AF.
know you have a lot of podcasts, so I wanted to make sure everyone.
No, I have Dose podcasts. Dose.
Well, I don't know. I feel like there's like 17 at least that you're involved in.
Okay.
So,
I'm thinking of them. I'm
yeah.
thinking of that. But this week, I mean, the biggest thing human resources had to be the cult we're calling it's actually a
Viva,
cult now.
Viva la vida.
Right. There's actually a new phrase they're saying getting cold played, which
Yeah.
is your affair getting exposed at a public event. They're now
Okay.
called it's now
So, can
a
we
what?
discuss? I mean, I don't want to talk about it too much because I think it's been obviously talked about quite a bit, but the I am just thinking about like the ethical implications from an HR perspective of okay, like take out the CEO for a minute because
Right.
whatever. But
Okay.
like as an HR person, like wowzers, trousers, like that's not ideal. Not ideal to be literally in bed with the CEO.
But what I was more, and maybe I shouldn't have thought about this. I was more concerned about the VP of HR in that scenario that was standing there,
Okay.
or the director of.
Okay, and that's the thing, like they're like, is it her? Is it not her? And Grok thinks it's her. So, I mean, if Grok thinks it is, then it must be true. But yeah, I'm like, and all of this has devolved so much, but then I go back to at the end of the day, and I heard this a few weeks ago, and it was actually like a gangster talking about, and I mean like truly someone like in a gang was talking about like business dealings on a podcast, and I don't remember what podcast it is, so please don't quote me on any of this because this, of course, is just like one of those random things that I heard. And they were basically saying like I don't mess or I don't do business with men who cheat on their wives because if they're going to cheat on the person that's like their number one person, then who's to say they're not going to cheat on me in business? And I was like, that's such a valid point, but it's also the like the fallout of such a public outing, I don't know how else to call it that, but like, I guess what I like where I go on the whole story is clearly this isn't a first date. Clearly
Right,
very comfortable that they're publicly out. Like,
with a coworker.
right. But like, if someone's cheating on their spouse, are they really going to go to a concert and be in a box at a
Right,
concert? And
right,
it was like, oh, this is just we're
right.
we're in a relationship. Do you know what I mean? Like,
And I think that that's the weirdest part. Like, what were you do? Like, you do what? I mean, all anybody had to do was like look left or right. I mean, granted, in
right.
this case, there was that whole, cam situation, but it doesn't matter. They didn't care.
No, they
Whatever it
didn't
is,
care.
they didn't care about that.
No, no.
And the sad part is they also, you could count on similarly, they didn't care about what was going to happen within the business. It's because that obviously is a problem. It's an ethical
Yeah.
problem. I knew that that takes a company down, and a lot of people like their stock is going to go down.
Well, the CEO just resigned. Like the CEO's gone. The
That's
board's
not
like
like not.
done.
I love it when when the CEO resigns, air quotes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know why they are giving him a probably a fantastic package.
To
Yeah.
not
So
I mean,
to go
I'm
away.
sure that she's gonna resign next, or someone's gonna ask her to resign and
Yeah.
probably not have as good of a package. What do you
No,
think?
of course not. Well,
Yeah,
it's he's and he'll bounce back. In 6 months, he'll be the CEO of something else, I'm sure.
right,
Because it's water under the bridge. But then again, I mean, I guess that's just the world we're now living in where, like
right.
two, a senator and, their family gets murdered in broad daylight. And it's
Our
like,
president's a
doesn't even
rapist,
make the news
and
cycle.
like they're about to expose as a pedophile. So I don't think,
Yeah.
you know,
There's no morals or ethics in anything right now. And it's very scary. So,
but thoughts and prayers.
but thoughts and prayers, everything's fine. Um, so yeah, I think I'm glad we like touched on it, but I mean, I think it's kind of been all the memes are out there, all the jokes are being made, and what I would like to say, is hopefully behind the curtain, the family is going to get through it and figure out
Yeah.
whatever they need to figure out. Both families, I should say.
I hope that that they do bounce back and we can get to like the business of what's going on actually in our country. I mean, I
Right,
feel like um we were going to talk about something else, but just going into the last week of that big bill passing through and all the mini bills that are going through, like it is a sign of a lack of care and respect for other people
right.
that's going on. Massive. I mean, it's hard. At one point, you're like, okay, if you don't necessarily like the person's politics or like the politics within the country, you stick around, it'll change. But it's like, it's only July.
Yeah.
We have a long way to go, and there's a lot of impact. I mean, that has been going on right now. And
Right.
I think we feel it and we're seeing it at work.
100%. I'm glad you brought that up because I have been looking at some ENPS scores, so employee net promoter score stuff, and just like morale at companies. So one of the things that popped up for me when I was doing a search the other day was that Dell's employee satisfaction or ENPS score dropped nearly 50% in 2 years. And they're blaming it on the return to office, layoffs, heavier workloads, and then, of course, AI. And that's what some of these layoffs are also because of AI, or that's what they're saying is that, AI is kind of taking, I'm going to say AI is taking jobs, but that's such a simplistic way to put it because it's not that. I mean, we know there are going to be some things, comms roles, things like that, marketing, et cetera, that I think will evolve. But again, I also look at you have to have a human on the other side of some of these jobs doing the oversight of what did I just get from the chat GPT, the Grok, all the other different tools that are being used right now. I think, the one that a lot of folks are looking at from, even, GitHub, Copilot, all of these are happening. Um, the thing that I keep coming back to, and I don't know how you are feeling, I'm starting to use ChatGPT, not even at like work, but just like personally to like do research on different things just to understand. But there is also this is actually a tip from our AI person who's a genius, of course. He just said, ask the tool anytime you're doing research on anything, ask them, what am I not asking that I should be asking?
Mhm.
And I think I even mentioned this last time we recorded because it is the checking yourself of like what bias are you putting into the system without knowing it, and what are you not asking the tool to do for you that you should be doing. And I've been using that a lot when I've been doing, like we just did a retrospective of our review process, and I asked, what questions did I ask during a retro for this? What am I not thinking of? Blah, 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 blah. And it was actually kind of neat, some of the things that they came up with. I was like, oh, yeah, of course I want to ask that. Oh, yeah, of course I want to think about that. So it's been kind of interesting. But what are like from a morale perspective, going back to kind of that ENPS drop and some of these different things, what are your thoughts on just where we are on employee satisfaction, and just overall morale at companies?
I think it's going to be down across the board, and I think we'll be able to see a direct pull on organizations that have gotten rid of DEIB within the organizations,
Good.
and like we don't care about you anymore. I mean, I, uh, we tried to map at organizations used to reward loyalty, and they don't do that anymore. And then they tried to build a family, which we'd have an expected amount of loyalty just because. But then you realize that we don't have shared values. And so I went anytime you don't have shared values, you're going to have a problem. I mean,
Yeah.
I would have been interviewing for jobs, and as I was talking, I realized that we had like a misalignment in values and
Mhm.
like importance. And I think it's going to continue to go down because it's very difficult to feel excited if you see that they're not putting funding into your organization or the things that care and what people care about, like
Mhm.
on a global level. It makes it really difficult to trust people internally, or and I think that it is a we haven't solved how we communicate with each other, and we had somebody to try to help facilitate some of those conversations at
Mhm.
work that we
Mhm.
don't. And so people are like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. You're left to your own devices to figure it out. And we're losing transparency. I think we have it the thing that they said, it's like it wasn't fair, but then we have a greater fear of what's happening at work, because it doesn't it it doesn't make sense. And knowing that there are other technologies that they're just trying to find ways for you to be replaced, like that
Mhm.
is like actually the goal, makes people scared when they
Right.
use those things. I mean, the people that are having success with AI are continuing to have success with AI.
Right. Right.
Are just doing, they're already successful. The most people that are successful that are then using AI are now more successful faster. Um,
Mhm.
but the people that aren't really sure or never use that kind of technology are really afraid.
But it also like it harkens back to me like where we are as a country. Also, it is this. It's always been, if it's something people don't know, it's scary. So when you think just the basis of change management, it becomes scary. But this is the whole idea that, if we talk about the Industrial Revolution and all of these things moving forward from there, that was the whole concept is we're going to ship out, some of these jobs that are less skilled jobs, and get to a place where people are more educated, more whatever you want to call it, so they're able to do higher level jobs. But then we didn't do that, and we haven't upskilled our people, and we haven't done what we kind of, and I'm saying we and the generalized we, organizations, the government, et cetera, have not done a good job of educating people to say, okay, how do we get them to a place where they understand AI, they know how to use it? Like, I just had this conversation on Friday where it was, yeah, we're using AI, but have we really taught our team members how to use it correctly? So not just the, hey, don't put company financial data into Chat GPT because then it's everywhere, but
Mhm.
more of the like, how can you use this the best way to get what you need to have it actually help you, all of these things. And I think that's the piece that's also missing is how do you leverage AI? And I know, like, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, I'm going to use AI and create a learning path in Udemy for my team members of like, here's how you maximize AI and how you start to use it in a different way. So, anyways, I'm going in circles, I think, a little bit because there's so many different things going on. I feel like I haven't talked to you forever. Sorry.
Right. No, I mean, I think the bigger challenge isn't even implementing AI. It's the things where their AI isn't going to go into play. Like, why aren't
100%.
we just paying a livable wage? It's the reason why they're like, oh, well, I have to allow. I don't want immigrants in our country, except for the ones that are helping me build my business. Well, or you can teach other people, like pay a livable wage on and get back into agriculture, if you want to bring things back into the country, like pay people enough to live here too.
Well,
Or that.
right. But it's also, this is the part that also makes me angry is, oh, I'm sorry, Trump and the Republicans, you didn't know that all of the people working in your hotels and in the service industry, making your food and farming and all of these different groups that have historically been immigrants that have come from other countries that have worked and done these jobs, because again, no one else wants to do them. Now it's, oh shit, I didn't realize that that meant all of the immigrant. And you're like, so you know this, oh, we were going to roll it back so the farmers can have people to pick their vegetables or whatever. Oh, we're going to roll it back so that the service industry can still have. And so like these immigration, I'm like, is no one going, I'm going to make a choice. What's the consequence of that choice 2 steps down the road? Not even like not 7 steps, 2 steps down the road of like, what happens if? And I'm sorry if for those of you watching on YouTube, Olive is all in it today. She wants to be part of the mix.
The cat booty.
The
She's
cat booty is fresh and clean.
different.
Yeah. Although actually, no, it's not. She needs to get brushed very badly right now. But so my apologies for my uh, nasty cat.
You are so
Um, Anyhow,
feeling.
so
I
okay,
think that it's
so
I think that it's it's there's that part. And then when you look at people that are working in an office, how can your morale be up if your CEO made a donation to a president who then is taking away
mhm,
rights from people?
yeah, and clearly does not care.
Like you can't have it both ways. And I mean, it's interesting that people now we're looking at these Epstein files and people are wanting to know what's going on with that. And that gets people riled up to be like, maybe Trump isn't a very nice person. It took that.
But again, anyone who has any sort of brain that didn't know that Trump absolutely was best for, like, go look at the thousands and thousands of pictures that we have of Trump and Epstein together, and
Right.
the how many different women have said, yeah, I connected and had sex with Trump or sex with Epstein or a package deal or whatever, like how many accusations have been made. And
Right.
I'm so over it. Like, can we just fucking believe women?
That
Can we just fucking believe people when they say I'm being treated like shit at work?
nobody's proud of having slept with Donald Trump.
No, no, absolutely.
Nobody feels like they're gonna get flowers because of, extra kudos or a job or leverage it in any way.
Yeah,
So trust when
yeah.
people, even if you don't believe them, having a full investigation and holding people accountable.
But
And
who does? But Jackie, who do you trust to do an investigation right now? In the government, who do you trust to do an investigation on anything about anything?
Don Lemon. Trust Don Lemon to do
Even
it.
I say no to that. I say no to even him because he's a
I
little
mean,
too sensational.
at least he could do half. At least if he could get started, I would believe the first half.
Okay. Yeah. I think he tried to make it into like a documentary. So I would be slightly concerned that he
Right,
would
right, right.
maybe
Yeah,
over
later.
dramatize things.
Or
But
is it? Well, that's the whole thing. It's like, how are you supposed to feel good about any of it?
right.
It's embarrassing. What
Well,
they're
and
doing
that's the
to these
thing.
families it is like horrible.
I just, I'm just, it's exhausting. And I feel like it, again, like we knew this was going to happen. We've talked about this. We talked about this in January,
Right.
where the goal is throw so much at people that they do get distracted by the astronomer CEO and the head of HR having an affair versus going, wait, no, let's go back to the Epstein thing, or let's go back to the assassination of a
Hmm.
US senator outside their home. Or let's go back to what is this bill going to do to Medicare? Or let's go back to, I mean, like, again, let's go back to 20 different things versus, no, again, we're going to throw so much at people that we are going to desensitize them on everything. Like the one that I am personally freaking out about, and I shouldn't say freaking out, that I'm most disturbed about is I feel like we are so desensitized to everything going on with the immigration stuff that, the ICE agents outside of immigration courts that are taking moms, that are taking people that are like following the process, and still we're like, nope, we're going to go put you somewhere and no one's going to know you're there, even though you're going through all the steps that you're supposed to.
Right.
And don't tell me those are the people that these rapists and other vile things that Trump has said, those aren't the people that he's talking about allegedly. Because remember, his is, oh no, we want to get out the troublemakers and all these people doing all these horrible things. Well, that's not the mom going to immigration court. Sorry.
That's
No.
true. I mean, the fact of the matter is, and we always can put it on really basic terms, like when we talk about seatbelts and how we have to have laws to have seatbelts, is because
Mhm.
actually, if it wasn't a law, people actually won't wear seatbelts, and they're,
Right.
oh, you should trust people to take care of their own families or have the freedom. No, we actually can't do that because then it impacts people, doctors, and how many people get hurt, and we don't have enough nurses and resources,
Right.
and how do you bear? So it's like, oh, that's a big deal. Then you flash forward to what's going on at the VA right now, where they reduced the laws for members of LGBTQ plus people. They took the
Right.
verbiage out, and their response is, well, we don't discriminate against veterans. No, you just did. Just because you aren't a member of the LGBTQ plus and you're just
Right.
trusting everybody to do air quote the right thing, but you have to, that's the whole point, where you have to make it a law and you have to make it required, because left to your own devices, then you could have somebody now that says, oh, I'm not going to give you the health care that you already have, need,
Hmm.
deserve. Thousands are going to be discriminated against.
Right.
I'm so sorry if you can hear barks. Can you hear barks?
No.
That's amazing. Wow, Zoom. Good job.
Good job, Zoom. Good job. But then again, I can never hear anything. So,
People are like, the people are concerned, and they said that no, this is a quote. The VA told The Guardian that no VA would ever allow an employee to refuse to provide appropriate care to any eligible veteran. That's just not true, friend. Like, I don't
right.
understand. I don't understand. It's the willful ignorance.
Right.
And because it doesn't happen to you, you don't believe that like this is true.
Well, and I guess like I also want to go back 2, 3 years.
Yeah,
Remember how much of a mess the VA has been for years.
right.
So now what that's everything's all well and good and now we're gonna like get rid of a bunch of staff because of DEI. Let's say because of DEI and they're focused on DEI. So when we don't want that, well, you're just getting rid of people that were helping veterans. Period.
If you
So
and the quote, one of the quotes was, if you take the words out, people hear them.
right. Yes.
Put them back.
Put them back.
What is it going to hurt to say, if they're not going to discriminate, then why does it hurt to keep the words to don't discriminate against
Right.
people?
Right. Why is discrimination a bad word?
Right.
Or anti-discrimination, I guess I should say. Like we don't discriminate. Why is saying that bad?
And they've banned pride flags at the VA. And
Because
they
because that makes a difference. And I guess that's the other part. Is like, who is it harming
right,
to have a pride flag there? Someone doesn't like it. Okay, do you know how many things I don't like every day that I deal with and just go, I don't like that, but here's my
right,
life and I just have to live it.
right.
I think all of us can say that, but there's also the I might not like something, but if it makes someone else feel safe,
Right.
who cares?
Right.
What harm is it doing me to have a pride flag, even if I'm not LGBTQ? I don't know.
I still get so angry when I see when you go to the bathroom and it's like men and women, like, and then you open the door and it's just a toilet. It's like, what the
It's
fuck?
just a
Like, why
trip.
do you care?
Yeah. Well,
Just
that's I actually
yeah.
someone asked me because I was in Spain, what is the deal with the bathrooms in the US? Because we were at this castle doing this little event, making paella. It was very fun, but
As
there
one,
were two bathrooms and they were labeled men or man, woman, but it was like we were all just kind of using them as they were open. It was because who cares? Because it was truly a toilet and a sink. That's it. Um, and one of the guys at like, why is that such a big deal in the US? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why anyone cares. I don't know because again, the issue is not we are worried that transgender people are going into women's restrooms. It's that and let's be clear because this has been kind of the thing is we don't want fake transgender people going into the restroom and harming people. Okay, well, that's a separate issue.
right,
But we say we don't want pedophiles, but then we don't do anything to rapists.
right.
We say we don't want people going into women's restrooms that might harm women,
Mhm.
but then we don't do anything to anyone that harms a woman.
Right,
So this is all theater. It's all a fucking joke. Sorry, I'm
right.
cussing today. I'm very cussy today.
You
Um,
nap. What did
what?
they? That was a long flight from Barcelona. It got you riled up.
I know. Well, I'm tired.
That's
I'm
what I think.
sick
Nap.
and tired. Sick and tired, Jackie. Sick and tired.
Well, I
Anyhow,
think it's fair. It's a power play, and
yeah.
I just, I don't, I wonder how far it's gonna swing the other day, what the other way when calls me because they want DEIB training and to learn how to do ally and advocacy, and you're like, you do? Like, why? Like,
Yeah.
what are you
What are
gonna,
you gonna do with that?
you know, when
That's the
people
part I don't like.
already
Yeah. What are
are
you doing?
feeling the damage that is caused and can see it and can see it.
I'm just
Like
tired.
the way that it's because we've allowed so many things to be okay. And it's like, how far are we going to push those things? Like
And
I, I, I didn't realize this. You know how um, so like when we talk about segregation, it just wasn't that long ago. And we were
yeah,
talking about one of the things that it was always been really funny is when women or like some of my friends, if they carry, I knew a girl who used to carry ranch dressing in her purse. And Beyonce, they always have that thing like I have hot sauce in my bag. Did you
yeah.
know that at the beginning of like desegregation at restaurants, they still wouldn't allow like black and brown people to use condiments and they had to bring their own condiments to restaurants where you can come in and go to the restaurant, but you have to bring your own condiments. And that started a lot of people carrying their own condiments in their purse. Did you know that?
No, I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. And that was like a real thing, like, 70 years ago, 60 years ago.
I just like, but it is that type of stuff that like,
Somebody allowed that to happen.
right. Somebody allowed it to be we'll let them in the restaurants,
Right.
but they can't sit at the counter. We'll let that, or they have to sit in the black section. We'll let them in the restaurant, but they can't use the condiments. So
Right.
literally, it's also every single inch has been a battle.
Right. Every inch. And now you're saying, well,
Let's roll that all back.
let's roll it back. Let's go back. Like the
But
fact,
does someone actually think that, if we make it really hard, I'm gonna use black people in this instance. If we make it really hard for black people, they'll go away.
right,
Are you going anywhere, Jackie?
not going anywhere.
So like that's where I also go like, what's the end game truly?
Right. What is the end game? Because, I'm not a psychic.
No,
Not going to end well.
no.
It's just
Well,
not.
and I know part of it is just, and we've talked about this before, the end is coming to white men having all the power. And I think that's the fear factor also that's coming into play. And I'm using a very general, there are, and this is not to say that all white men are bad in any way, shape, or form. This is a very general, the patriarchy. I'll use the patriarchy instead. The patriarchy is losing power. And I think that's the piece that people are afraid of. But
Well,
it's
and they're
also like,
afraid
yeah, it's happening.
the politics. I mean, there's another part of it. Like absolutely, there's no chance and no way that Pete Buttigieg shouldn't be the full front runner for the Democratic Party right now.
Right,
Absolutely no reason and no way that he shouldn't be.
right.
But that's what I see pulling LGBTQ plus out of the BA of trying to send a very clear message because it is so strong politically and it has been able to go through, and other people members who have broken through in the last year, that we should be celebrating, that still are trying to send a message because of all of those successes throughout the United States that we don't talk about because we can't celebrate those things anymore, right? And then by taking the laws away from those people while they're sitting in the House and the Senate,
It's just gross.
it's gross.
And I at some point I wish that people would like look at what's going on and go "Mm, and
Like
just realize the grossness of it.
I'm just saying, like, what is what taking it one step further? I mean, I think I even sent you a link this week. I started looking at ground news, um, which is it's based out of Canada, but
Mhm.
ground news, you could actually download a app on your phone or a Chrome extension, and it will tell you um, where you might have blind spots in your regular news, and when you're reading news, how it swings or how many people are reporting on this story. And they say like there's could be a blind spot for the left or a blind spot for the right. Like you might not hear this on your
Right.
choice of mail. And like right now, one of the things that is going on is that in Glasgow, like in the UK, it's like their Pride Month going on right now, and how so many people are celebrating, and it's their annual Pride March. You haven't heard anything about it,
No.
right? Like you wouldn't want to celebrate those things. I mean, it's LGBTQ today is on my mind because of that news. But then you look, if you're not sure about how much the people don't care, did a study and they said like in the next 5 years that the cost of insurance for that people that get through the Affordable Care Act is going to increase by 75% in the next 5 years. So I'm on the affordable, like my insurance is through the Affordable Care Act,
Yep.
and just for me it's $600.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to increase by 75%.
Yep.
How do and
Or your other option is no, as we go back to no ACA, no
right.
coverage
Yeah, just nothing.
because you're independently employed.
The fact that we
So,
live in a country that people still die or lose limbs because they can't afford like the right medicine is ridiculous.
right.
But we just increased like the wealth that the president was able to get because of this next thing is in the billions of dollars.
Mhm.
And then people and then they and then you have to sit there and wonder why people are don't feel good about work. Like, how can they feel good? How can you can't feel good about work that you're doing when if it ultimately is supporting people that don't align with the people that you love, that it's causing harm to people that you love, then you can't feel good at work.
And I think like that's just to close out this episode. I think that's the summary of this conversation, honestly, is all of these things that we're seeing, the layoffs, the horrific things that are going on in the government, the horrific things that are going on, the moral and ethical issues going on in the world. And I that's a big swath of things that I'm covering with saying moral and ethical between, the Epstein file and, files, et cetera, et cetera. But it goes back to how are people supposed to feel good right now with all this stuff going on?
7 months in.
Yeah. We're 7 months in.
Even tapped the surface.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy who wrote the song for Donald Trump for like in Miami for Cuban Americans got sent back to Venezuela. Like, I don't know. Those of you that really thought that for some reason you were going to get by or get through and you weren't already a billionaire, you played yourself.
Yeah. Like this is truly, and this is truly the biggest FAFO moment
Absolutely.
in time. And it saddens me. Like there is no joy, there is no happiness, there is no gotcha. And I know that they're trying to paint this picture of like, oh, the Democrats are like, oh, ha ha ha. I don't think, I mean, anyone that is celebrating that any of these horrible things are happening to people, like, am I happy that the man that wrote a pro-Trump song is in a Venezuelan jail? No, no. It makes my stomach hurt.
But also not shocked or surprised at all.
No, that's it. Yeah, it's there's no joy, there's no win, but there's also, yeah, this is what he said he was going to do over and over and over again. And on that happy note,
Right.
Jackye,
Yes.
let's wrap up this episode. So folks that are in the trenches, folks that are in this right now, I know it's a very hard time, and we are all trying to figure out just how to wade through. I think the thing to really consider and the thing that's going to really impact employee engagement, employee morale is making everyone come back to the office. So if you
Yeah.
do that, if you implement that,
That's
then
right. Yeah. And take
that'll
away
fix
open
everything.
PTO. That's what everyone's
Yes.
doing.
Yeah. Do not like tell people they can't take their PTO. Make
That's
sure
right.
that people are back in the office and working
That's
and
right.
put that commute in because that commute is really where they build character.
Oh,
Um,
and dress code.
and a dress code. Yes. So make sure as an HR person you're being as obnoxious as you can, clutching your pearls and wearing your cardigan. That's
Take
the
power
really
back, HR.
kind of
Take
thing.
your power. That's right. I think we could probably find a direct alignment
And
to
go
these
and I can't even say this out loud because it kind of grosses me out. I was gonna say go have sex with your CEO, but I can't even. No, that's just
Oh,
gross. Yeah, so
that's
don't do that. Please don't.
don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. I can't cross that line. No, HR people, please don't mess with your team members. Just go somewhere else to find someone to date,
And
especially if you're married.
understand that there are lots of things going on outside of work that can cause
Yeah,
like unhappiness inside of work, and try to make it, do what you can to give people resources that they need to take care of themselves.
100%. And if you haven't listened to our last episode and with Lindiwi, please go listen
Yeah,
to that immediately. I think, I'm going to say our last one. I don't know if it is our last one, but one of the last ones we did with Lindiwi, I think that was just such a powerful episode of kind of, yeah, I'm going to say self-preservation because, I think that's what this is about right now is where can you find those moments of quiet solitude, safety, self-care, whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
um, so that you can keep fighting the good fight.
That's right. Well, thanks, Katie. I mean, it really is helping. I hope people feel that, we are in this together, and we're going to keep trying to share the information, but also don't take our word for it. Go out there and look at that. Look at
Right.
what's going on.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you all for listening. We'll talk to you all soon. This is Katie Van Horn.
And this is Jackye Clayton. Bye.
Bye.